All right, let's move on. Uh, so one of the things that I think is happening, and this is where we're sharing our opinions here, but and it's better late than never. It should have happened a long time ago. It should have happened right after Michelle Obama said, "They go low, we go high." Because in the moment, that was a brilliant philosophy. But right after Hillary lost that election, we should have kind of read the play, and Democrats specifically should have read the play. Like, oh, okay, this is a different form of politics. Everyone was saying it, but it didn't. It took them the better part of a decade to start trying different approaches instead of politics as usual. And Wes Moore is one of those people that we believe is standing up and holding his ground and not ceding any ground and being defiant and not kissing the ring and not bending the knee. And indeed, a lot of other Republicans are. And Wes Moore's not the only name here, but he makes a strong case for not just the commander in chief of Maryland, but for the presidency, maybe at some point in the future if he's eyeing a run. And he is being very presidential while still fighting a an unorthodox fight, not unlike Gavin Newsom, not unlike the Texas Democrats that flood the state. Like I said, it's not nothing, and it's better late than never. So what we're going to do is we're going to hear in his own words what Wes Moore is saying about keeping the National Guard out of D.C.
I am the commander in chief of the Maryland National Guard. Period and full stop. That I'm the 63rd governor of the state of Maryland, but along with that means I am the commander in chief of our state's National Guard and our state's Air Guard. And I will not authorize the usage of our National Guard for something that is not mission critical or mission aligned. Period and full stop. So if the idea comes in, or if the request comes in to mobilize a National Guard in either one of our cities or another city, and I do not deem it to be mission critical or mission aligned, I can give you my answer in one word: no. Because as the commander in chief, this is something I take very seriously. And I take it very seriously, both from a professional perspective, but also from a personal perspective. Because unlike the president of the United States, I've actually worn the uniform of this country. Unlike the president of the United States, I actually deployed overseas and fought on behalf of the United States of America. I know what it's like to say goodbye to my family. I know what it's like to wear a U.S. issued military uniform. I know what it's like to patrol communities. And so I do not need and will not accept any type of lecture from someone who the only uniform they have worn is a Brooks Brothers suit about how to utilize members of the National Guard.
And there you have it. So I know that things have been, I guess, regressing in DCQ. Talk to us about the state of the District of Columbia.
You know, there's an interesting provision with regard to our servicemen and women and our law enforcement officers. And their oath is supposed to be a promise and an oath they take to protect this country and its people, to protect and uphold the Constitution of this country. And what we're learning in real time is what we've said for years, and people have told us that we were fear mongering or race baiting or playing the victim. And it's that so many institutions in this country are racist first. Before they're American, before they're capitalist, before they're whatever they are, they're racist first. So it took a blatant racist leader to have all of these institutions that we knew and or thought we knew show their true colors. Because had our former president, Barack Obama, taken the same position, but for Black people, I know as fact that our law enforcement agencies and our military would not have stormed on behalf of Black people the neighborhoods and businesses of white Americans, of white immigrants, of white tourists, of white citizens, in order to try to uphold some perverted version of xenophobic, racist bullying. In real time, we are noticing that no undocumented or overstayed visas of white immigrants have had their businesses, their neighborhoods, or their known communities raided, stormed with police, filled with extra law enforcement, or treated like they were criminals, specifically targeting Black and brown people in one of the blackest and brownest cities in the United States. So as we've watched our institutions bend the knee, all the checks and balances go away in the name of white supremacy, these institutions are showing, hey, this is really what we're on. When we say America first and proud to be an American and all that stuff, we're talking about being white. And that's what we've always been talking about. And that's what we've always been here for. And as long as we had someone that wasn't a blatant, flagrant racist leading the way, these institutions did not have to bend to the knee of directives and orders that served white nationalist, white supremacy. But now that the boss is on that, they seem almost excited to comply.
Yeah.
They cheer when he talks. They show up aggressively to do what he's asking them to do. Point a camera at them and you might get shot or tackled or tased or punched in the face over and over again, only to have judges and leaders of those same agencies tell us nothing wrong was done, no crime was committed, nothing to see here. Right? So seeing someone finally say, I refuse, it means so much more than he could possibly know when he said it, because all we've seen is pre-compliance and hypernormalization of really evil, sadistic, dystopian reality playing out right in front of us, and us being left to feel hopeless and defenseless and like no one cares and like no one can help or no one will even try. So, very, very refreshing to hear the governor, to see the stance that he's taken, and hearing it from a veteran who knows that they're not supposed to bend the knee to a dictator.
Yeah.
They're supposed to protect the Constitution and the citizens of this country against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. And there are domestic enemies here now roaming our streets, committing crimes and violating people's human rights and violating the Constitution with impunity. So somebody needed to stand up. Bravo, Governor Westmore.
Yeah. And like I said, there's a few people that are standing up, and you realize that they are not as helpless as we once thought. I'm not going to paint a rosy picture of the status of Democrats in this country, because, they're down bad, and it's probably going to get a lot worse before there's a chance of it even getting better. But like I said, critically, knowing that there's a fight, there's a defiance, they haven't just rolled over and shown their bellies, like so many incidents. We talked about Target. Target rolled over and showed its belly to the president before he even took office. And I mean, I'll speak for myself and the people that I know. There's no, like, it would be like a slap in the face to everybody that they were born and they lived very short, very hard, very difficult, challenging lives, and they could not dream of a better reality. And they often died in agony or in horror. And maybe some of them, the last word that they ever heard was the N-word. All those people that lived and died in this country in order to get me here, it'd be a slap in all of their faces. Every last one of them, for me to step foot in a Target and give them my money. So how I really feel about it is, like, I don't care who you put in there. Like, if you say something, do what you say. That's a very easy thing for me to do. I don't know why it's so challenging for other people. And I don't know why people got so much fear in their heart. Maybe I'm just a different type of person, but I just don't like, why are all these people living their lives so scared? So this is why I salute people like Jasmine Crockett, like Wes Moore, like Gavin Newsom. People that's like, look, man, run it. Like, I'm not, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm a brawler or a fighter or, anything like that, like in terms of physical fight, but I'm just not that person. I never needed to be. But my heart is just not made out of fear. And it feels like everybody else's is. And like, what is the measure of your humanity if at the end of your life you look back on it and was like, yeah, I bowed and showed everyone my belly?